Oh.
You couldn't get the big enough curve.
We could filter the CO2 through our ballast tanks, refire the engines, and ride the shockwave out of here.
Wow. He's right. We're going through with your plan, Patrick.
It is bomb. I'm unsure of what brought you here today, but I sure am grateful. Maybe it's the label of the video, which would be White Castle Copycat Burgers, right? Or maybe you were watching something else food related and I popped up after. Either way, I am very, very excited that you're here, and welcome to Chocolate Mama Loves Vanilla. If you've already been coming here, oh my gosh, I'm a fan of you as well. Okay, so let's dig into this because I'm super excited to share. Super Bowl Sunday is, lots of fun, but for the host, anytime you're hosting something, you need something that'll feed a crowd and impress a crowd, and what better than not having to go to White Castle and buy a bunch of burgers for everyone, but to be able to make them at home quickly, easily, deliciously, and you get all of it. You can feed a crowd, impress them. Winner, winner, White Castle burger dinner. Any of you that are already familiar with White Castle burger, one of the secrets to their taste is being loaded and loaded and loaded with onion flavor. That is the key ingredient to making their burgers different than other burgers out there, and that is going to happen in this video today. So if you really are interested in loading up on onions, this is the burger for you. There is one more secret ingredient to getting it to taste to the caliber of a White Castle burger and have the texture and everything we're looking for, but you will have to stay tuned for that secret. You have to watch in order to know, and then hopefully with this information you don't turn your nose up to it, because it's the secret to why it tastes so darn good. Okay, so without further ado, let's start making Copycat White Castle burgers. Okay, you're gonna start off with 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and then we're gonna season generously with our spices. Now it's time for our secret ingredient. That's right, creamy peanut butter. Okay, now it's time for a little chopping. You're gonna need about 2 to 3 teaspoons finely chopped parsley. Now that we got a good chop going on this, let's add it to the bowl and start stirring it. However, I must warn you that the smell of this meat while stirring it will make you think about eating raw meat. The smell of this is undeniable. So try your best to keep it together and keep stirring. The faster we can get this into the oven, the faster we can consume this. Now adding milk is going to add some creaminess to the texture of the meat. Time to roll the meat out until it's completely flat. This is the one part that's going to take a little patience as you roll it out. Now we're done. Let's get this in the oven. While our meat is cooking in the oven, we're going to go ahead and chop up the onion. to take this out the oven. Now we're going to take those chopped onions and we're going to place them around the meat and on top of it. Okay, we're going to have to place this back into the oven so it can cook down those onions and add all that onion flavor to the meat. Now that the onions have cooked into the juices, we're going to start spooning the onions on top of the meat to give it more moisture, more flavor as it continues to cook in the oven. Before we place the pan back into the oven, now is the time to add the cheese on top as well. I prefer American as it has a creamy texture to it in the first place. Okay, now that it's out the oven, well, let's look at this for a minute. All this ooey, gooey cheese. We're gonna need to top this hamburger off with some buns, and then we're gonna place it back into the oven. This allows the buns time to steam, and it'll give them a softer texture and a warm consistency. Right now, we're gonna place all the bun tops on top of the meat all at one time. Now that we have all the buns on there, time to pop it back into the oven. Thought I'd grab something to drink while we wait for it to cook in the oven. It's not a long time. Good time to indulge. Okay, now our burgers are done. It's time to cut them up into their own individual squares. This is the simplest method I've found to make a dozen burgers at one time. First, you cut going one direction, and then lastly, we'll cut in the other direction. If some burgers aren't all in the same direction, then just make sure to cut them out separately, but there should be enough to cut out each one individually. Lastly, now it's time to serve them up. Let's take a look at this. You can either either serve these plain, or my favorite is to add pickles. They are hands down delicious, quick, easy, and fun. I mean, unless you work there, who else gets to say they know how to make White Castle burgers, right? If you make these at your next party, or bring them if there's potluck vibes going on. You want to be mindful to let any of your guests know that there is peanut butter in the ingredients, because you don't want anyone, as to die for these are, you don't want them really doing that. So just let them know that that is one of the ingredients. But other than that, unless they're vegetarian, they should be ready to mow these down. I will see you all next time. But before you go, make sure you like and subscribe. And of course, select that bell button so that you can get reminders of any upcoming videos. So thank you all and have a good day.